and you have somebody like Rush Limbaugh on the radio, he might not be he might not be employed for much longer. It's not so much that what he said is about sponsors diving or jumping ship. And they've always been willing to sponsor him. Now talk about, I mean, that guy, I mean, I'm not saying I like him or not. He's kind of an artist in a way. He's turned what he does into an art form. He doesn't believe what he says. It's just a, quote, his work, so to say. But he might have crossed the line on this one.
You really think that? You think he doesn't believe what he says?
Oh, he's a total entertainer.
Well,
He hits on things, like he just pounces on things that you know, it's like in the subconscious. You know, race issues, obviously, when you're talking about welfare, social, economic issues, he knows what buttons to push. And when someone like him is on the radio, or many others, a lot of conservative talk shows, you're driving on your way home and you hear an ad slamming a presidential candidate, as a liberal or whatnot, or as a welfare proponent and all that, your work is done there. But yeah, it all goes back to the whole Sigmund Freud and psychoanalysis, the subconscious. You know, if something's wrong with someone, it must have been from their childhood. Well, if someone's voting a certain way, it must have been from their childhood. Seriously. I mean, and the use of advertising exemplifies this by all means. Television, not so much as radio or billboards. For example, in '04 they had a big billboard for the '04 elections, driving on from 183 right around the airport, driving west towards Euless from Irving, and it was Uncle Sam pointing, "Don't believe the liberal media." You know, that's a pretty powerful statement there. A lot of people commute on that route to Dallas from the suburbs. A lot of people see it. You know, they listen to Rush Limbaugh on the radio, and you see a billboard of Uncle Sam pointing at him, telling him not to believe the liberal media. And they get home and they watch an ad. Well, they're voting Republican, for sure. Television, though, it's not so much a regional thing. For example, New York City's Democrats, but there's still a substantial Republican base in New York, even though they don't win presidential elections. So, you know, if you're George W. Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney, you know, it wouldn't hurt to air an ad there. It wouldn't hurt to air an ad in Los Angeles because you have Orange County and the other outlying counties which do go Republican a lot of times. So it's not a complete total waste of time on the part of a Republican or a Democrat airing in a market that's not in a Republican or a Democratic state. You'll reach somebody. It might work. But the internet is a little different in the sense that the internet is not regional. Get which candidate, which politician revolutionized the internet as far as campaigning? So a lot of these Republican candidates in the primaries, do you think they're like, oh, Obama's using the internet, that's just an Obama thing? No, they're using it too. It's like Citizens United ruling, where they ruled that free speech, where that campaign donations were free speech. So after the 2010 elections, a lot of people were pouring money into all that, and they, won. The Republicans won as a result of it. Well, once the Democrats caught on to that, well, they're using it too. But yeah, campaigns, elections, it's somewhat of a, think of it as a movie or a television show. You have the actors involved, which are the candidates, and you have the scriptwriters, which are the brains, the staff. You know, it's a work of art. It's not a person. But that's just on the campaign trail. There's another aspect. Once they get elected, who do you think they get their money from? Interest groups. Interest groups. Who do you think determines whether they get reelected or not? Interest groups. Which we'll end on that note. I have on the outline. We can talk about it. We're done. We spent all the time on puzzles. So we're done for the day. I'll still continue accepting those ideology tests until the 27th. You guys have a good spring break.